Everybody, we're back. We're back on the FinTech stage, and our next session will be on 2022. It's time to say goodbye to petty cash and to painful manual business expense processes. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Karun Kurien, co-founder and chief product officer at Alaan Pay. Hello. Do you want the hand one or do you want this one? Yeah, okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Karun. I am co-founder at Alaan Pay. We are a venture-backed fintech company that has launched a product for UAE businesses in collaboration with Visa, Nimcard, and Mashreq. We are currently in the UAE, and we are going to be launching in other GCC markets very soon. So before I speak about, about Alaan, I think I first want to talk about the current state of business expenses in the UAE. As many of you would know, it is currently a bit of a nightmare, and hopefully many of you will relate to the pain points that I'm going to be talking about. So pain point number one, I think nobody loves filing expense claims. I think that's universal pain that all of us have felt at some point. I was a consultant with McKinsey, and a lot of the time I used to spend time teaching companies how to identify non-value adding work, and this is the definition of non-value adding work. It's a salesperson should be spending his time selling, not filing expense claims, right? And with McKinsey, I think I used to spend my weeks telling large corporates how to digitize. I used to come back home on the weekends and spend my time looking for physical paper receipts. So it was quite ironic. As a result of the manual way in which expenses are filed, finance teams then have another pain point, and month end is usually a nightmare for finance teams. Just because expense claims are delayed, they're inaccurate, finance teams need to chase down receipts, and on average, 3,000 hours are spent by companies just dealing with these manual expense claims. That is more than one man year. And for finance teams themselves, on average, it's about 75 man days. So it's real high cost and money wasted. Next pain point is, no one knows where the money is going. You only know about an expense when a receipt is submitted. Finance teams spend time every month creating the same manual reports each month. It's just a nightmare for finance teams, and the data is inaccurate, the data is delayed. So this lack of visibility is a real pain point for CFOs. Now with petty cash, if your companies deal with petty cash, this is another nightmare. I've heard of companies that needed to fire employees because they borrowed petty cash and used it to settle personal debts. I know of one large corporate in the UAE that fired an employee and then realized that this employee had 100,000 dirhams worth of petty cash with him. He was supposed to make a payment. He never did. They thought the payment was made. And then after firing the person, they needed to go and track down that petty cash. And then if you need to create a secure process around managing petty cash, that costs a lot of time and money. So I know a construction company that transports cash in steel boxes to all their sites every 3 days. Imagine the costs associated with that. So corporate cards are available. They help in some way, but they're not ideal. Typically, corporate cards are given to leadership because leadership doesn't trust every employee with access to their entire bank debit account if it's a debit card, or their entire bank credit limit if it's a credit card. But then oftentimes employees need to make online payments, and so the leaders have no choice but to share their card details with their employees. This is not secure, and the employee is often blocked because they need to get the OTPs from their bosses. And if their boss is in back-to-back meetings the whole day, they just don't have time. They're just unable to make the payment that day. And finally, if everyone is sharing the same corporate card, again, at the end of the month, the finance team does not know who to reach out to for details on an expense. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that nobody likes the status quo. Employees hate it. They're spending their time and their money after hours filling in expense claims. They often take weeks to get reimbursed, and often urgent payments are blocked. For the finance teams, they deal with the month-end stress. They're creating the same manual reports every month. There's no centralized truth, and they're always chasing after receipts. So nobody in the company is happy with it, but that's just the way it's been for the longest time. So I'm sure many of you relate, and all of you know that consumer payments have changed, but do business payments still need to be so hard? That's the question. That's what we're trying to solve. So we are Alaan. We are an expense automation and management platform powered by smart Visa cards. So corporate cards haven't changed in the last 25 years until now. And here's how Alaan cards are different, right? So you can issue unlimited cards for your employees. You no longer need to call the bank and say, hey, I need a card for this person. You can log on and issue a card for your employee in a minute. Literally, in 1 minute, your employee has the card. The cards can be activated instantly. And for each employee, you can set tailored spend controls. So what that means is, for one employee can have a spend limit of 100 dirhams a day, and another employee can have a spend limit of 10,000 dirhams a month. You can also create cards for specific purposes. So a card for fuel, a card for hotels and airlines. It's totally up to you. You have full control. And finally, at any time, if you want to cancel the card, issue a new card, change the spend limit, literally 1 minute is all it takes. Our cards are issued, they're Visa cards, so they're accepted globally, and they're issued in partnership with Mashreq and M-Card. The next benefit, employees no longer need to fill claim forms. As soon as they make an expense in person, they receive a notification on their phone. Click on the notification, take a picture, you're done. If they receive the receipt on their email, forward the receipt to receipts@alaanpay.com, you're done. Our technology will scan the receipt, match it to the transaction, and so no more claim forms, no more manual data entry. All the data for all the expenses come in real time from Visa, so no more inaccuracies in the data. There's also no more opportunity for people to fudge expenses if they want to, because the amounts, the merchants, all of this comes from Visa, so it's a much more secure process. And for finance teams, for CFOs, for business owners, you always know where your money is going. You no longer need to wait for a receipt to be submitted to know of the expense. Literally, you spend your money somewhere. In a second, all your reports are updated. You know how much this category of expense has gone up. You can compare it to the last month. You can compare it with other categories. And all these analytics is auto-generated and instant. We also eliminate all the data entry that goes into bookkeeping. We're integrating with many of the commonly used accounting solutions. And today already, if you use one of these accounting solutions, we have tailored download formats for each of the accounting solutions. So at the end of the month, you download a file, you upload it, and your accounting is taken care of. So what does this mean? This means no more manual filing of expense claims on your weekend, no more losing receipts, no more month-end stress for finance teams, no more manual, inaccurate, and outdated expense reports, no more petty cash, and no more sharing your boss's card. We're also building a feature for invoice payments. So no more, getting invoices approved via email. All of this is automated. Your approval flows can be configured for your company, and then the payments can be initiated on our platform using some of the open banking players in the region. We are SME focused, so we are keeping things cheap. It's free for a company to use. We make money because we incentivize the usage of Visa cards and we get a cut. But for our direct customers, there's no cost. There's no setup cost. There's no recurring costs. It takes no effort to set up. You can cancel at any time. And literally, our customers currently, they're using it without any training. And we also, if you have card expenses today in USD, in INR, in Euro, we also offer the best FX rates in the region. So there's literally money saved from the first month. Like I said, UAE companies across sectors and sizes are using the product today. Many tech startups, many funded tech startups, many traditional SMEs with employees from 10 to 500 are actively using the product today. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alaan Pay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Karun? Yes? All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Karun. Thank you.